Okay. Likutei Halochos. I totally forgot what was the.
What?
No. It was the halacha that we were dealing with. This halacha vav. Halacha vav. I'm sorry. Anyhow, this is based on Torah Ches in the second Chelek Likutei Maran. We said even though admonishment is a very, very important thing, it's a great thing, nevertheless, not everybody is worthy. Because when a person who is unworthy of admonishing is telling off somebody, is reproving somebody, is pointing out somebody's chesronos and bad deeds of somebody, he causes that person to be totally demoralized. He breaks him down. He makes him stink by himself. He almost chokes the oxygen from him. Takes life away from him. Not from him, but all the worlds, the spiritual worlds that are connected to that person are also being suffocated. But the way it's not only other people, it's you yourself also.
When you tell somebody, you also yourself...
No. The things that you tell yourself about yourself without words. If you're not worthy to tell others Teichacha,
right,
you're not worthy to tell yourself Teichacha either. People are literally killing themselves with this non-verbal Teichacha that they give themselves. They kill themselves. They dig themselves to the ground. There she goes. Wow. They dig themselves all the way to the ground. Yeah, what are you going to do now? They dig themselves. No, I'm just asking you, what are you going to do now? They dig themselves to the ground.
Yeah.
But when somebody is worthy, of Teichacha, not only that he doesn't spoil one's smell by himself, one's odor by himself, but he gives a good smell, a good odor into the person. In other words, you should always talk about the tachlis to yourself and to others, but don't stand on specific, why did I do this? Why did I do that? This kills a person. You know? Here I go again. You know, how many times did I did it before? Stay away from this. Just give me one good moment. Give me one good moment for Kedusha. Everything else, just put aside. Stay away from Teichacha. It's very, very toxic.
I mean, let's say I did something and...
So you say, I'm sorry, you deal with it, you're sorry during this Benedus. And he says, until when will I this? I accept upon myself linear from now to try to stay away from this. Do me a favor, help me. And then it's finished, over, put it away. Put it away. We carry it on us like carrying a rock.
Right.
And we can't move. Afterwards we wonder, how come we can't move? Now, the second thing that we learned is that it's three, the sustenance of the body, the mazon of the gufa, the tavis of hirashtia, weakens the sustenance of the neshama. The more gashmis the person gets, the less spiritual he is. The more you're into food, the more you're into the tavis achila. It's not only just eating a lot, it's, should be tasty, should be this, should be that. I just like it like this, I like it like that, and Essex and Coney, and this and that. All those things, the grill something, whatever it is, the best steak ever, but it's the less mazonah the nishmas. And adrabah, when you receive teichacha from the tzaddik emes that has the proper voice, you elevate the mazonah the nishmas, the sustenance of your soul. It gives you a good smell, because the smell is the the spiritual smell is the food of the soul. That's a true soul food. It says that when we make Avdallah, we make a bracha on Besamim. It says, what is the thing that the neshama enjoys, gets actual benefit from, and the body does not? It says that's the smell. That's Mazonah the Nishmasa. That's the spiritual. Yeah. And a person should. Now, we said the third thing that we learned is the brain of a person is a wall keeping him off the taiva of taivas niyuf. That's the essence of a person. A person gets into taivas niyuf, into the nonsense of taivas niyuf. A person gets through to stop it when a person is actually concentrating on what's going on. What am I getting myself into? But it's when the person suspends the das. Let's say the das, just put it aside. Imagine that, there is all the mices, all the stories in the world, all the movies in the world, all the, they're all based on one principle, which is called the suspension of disbelief. You're taking...
Like a fairy tale.
Yeah. How do you enjoy a fairy tale? You take... what they're telling you is improbable, and you don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, that kills any story in the world. So you have to take the disbelief, and you have to put it on pause. You suspend it. Right now, let's say there's a person who can be like a secret agent that can be in any danger and always come out alive and this and that, and he can fly, whatever it is. If you're saying, I cannot be such a thing, finish. No James Bond, no Superman, no Goonish, everything is gone. But if you're willing to put that aside, to suspend the disbelief, then all these stories in the world are possible. Then you can go ahead and have, enjoy fantasies. The same thing is taivas niyuf. Taivas niyuf is you suspend the das. You take the das, the sechel amiti. What are you doing? What's the story with you? And you say, let's put this on pause. Let's say, could be, and this, and let's say, okay, this is the ruach shtus. A person, when he gets injected with ruach shtus, that means suspension of the das. The das is being suspended. It's from timeout. Timeout. The das. Stand aside. You don't mish in. All right. When I want you, I'll call you. Until then, it's the call. The das amiti is when a person gets an attack of these inyanim, put the das in. What am I looking for? What do I want from my life? Okay, let's say that I can have it. Really, I want to have it. I really want to have it. Or I want to be caught red-handed with this. It says, Shem Yirachem. It says, shtus. So that's the third thing. We said, the fourth thing that we mentioned is that tefillah is rachamim. The main thing about tefillah is rachamim. You don't come with demands to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That tefillah, which is Pchinas Din, is the food of Sitra Achra. Sitra Achra is all dinim. So when a person is mispal tefillah Pchinas Din, either he demands from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or she's starting to get rid of the tefillah. Just let me finish. Just let me get it over with. This is all tefillah Pchinas Din. Sitra Achra swallows it up. And that is not when a person, he wants to daven well, but never. What can you do? You don't have that much of a bandwidth. You can daven the whole davening. Maybe you can say a word, you can say a bracha, maybe you can say one, you can say the kavanah. The rest, what can you do? We're all meshigah, we're all crazy. We're not talking about that. As long as you want, as we says, one moment of good, you can mevatel all the bad. The bad is not. But if you don't even want that moment of good, sometimes you can get into a shul. You see, they don't want to daven b'chlal. then it's a fancy shul, and it's beautiful, and it's this, you want to get to the Kiddush with the 12 types of herrings. Lass mich chop mit der Stift, that's so team. I said, we're not saying Tachnun today. Why? Because the Yotz Mecherub, verstehst du mich, is a yard set, and Shulchan says, what do you mean? There's not a single day during the year that it's not a Yotz of a Tzaddik somewhere. So you'll never say Tachnun. But today, quick. Never. I'm not saying about others, I'm saying about myself. You know, when it says you don't say Tachnun, what? So, of course, why are you not saying Tachnun? Inside I'm going, good, yes. There's a chassan, there's a this, there's a that. Baruch Hashem.
Now, chassan is a halacha.
I'm not talking about the fact that it's a halacha.
Yeah,
That I know. I'm talking about it, yes.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. This is a tefillah b'chinas din. Listen, beseder, so as long as you fight it, beseder, there's nothing. But there is a tefillah b'chinas din that the tzaddik has a great strength. It's dafka davening that tefillah. So the Sitra Achas swallows it, and because tefillah b'chinas din is like offering catnip to a cat. It's like waving a red cloth to a bull. It's like you're like taking some bloody thing in the water for a shark. They can't stop. They can't. Sitra Achas has to swallow it, but it can't swallow it. It can digest it.
Because you did one.
No, because the tzaddik his tefillah is such a koyach. The kedusha is so forceful, it gets stuck in the throat of the Sitra Achas Kiviyachol Bruchnis. It gets stuck in. It has to throw up all the kedusha that it swallowed. It swallows you, swallows me, swallows all of us. When the tzaddik in his tefillah, it gets stuck in the throat. And what happens when it's in the throat? Throw up. And when it finishes throwing up the kedusha that it swallowed from the outside, it also throws up its own essence. Like when a person has stomach virus and it throws up and it already threw up all the food and drink that he ate, start throwing up bile, from the own. The Achas throws its own essence. These are the ger. Okay. The next point that we're trying to make is that whenever it is that the more Yidden come to daven in a kibbutz, like the 10 Yidden that come to daven together, the tefillah is not like 10 tefillahs. It's much more, because the tefillahs of Yidden of Kol Davar Shebekdusha are combined exponentially. Like one Yid is one tefillah. 2 Yidden is 2 tefillahs. The third Yid that comes makes it 6 tefillahs. The fourth Yid that comes multiplies the 6 by 4. It was 6 tefillahs. The fourth one, everything is getting multiplied. So it's considered now there are 24 combinations. Now, when the fifth one comes, it's 96 combinations. It's 24 times 5. When the sixth Yid comes, it's almost 600. It's about 600 combinations. When the seventh comes, it's 3,500 combinations. And when the eighth one comes, it becomes 24,700 combinations. And the ninth one comes, it becomes almost 200,000 combinations. When the 10th one comes, it's called 2 million combinations. It's called exponential cheshbon, that each number that is added adds, multiplies everything that came before. It's not added to what was before, but it's multiplies everything that was before. It's called exponential cheshbon. It grows exponentially. It means each time it multiplies it. They say there's a legend that the person that invented chess, the king, was so enchanted with him. He said, I will give you anything you want. What do you want? So he said, what I want is you take the chessboard and you put 1 grain of wheat on the first square. The second square, you double it. So it's 2. The third square, no, not 3. You multiply the second square by 3. The fourth square, whatever the teitzah was, you multiply by 4. So the first one is 1 grain. The second one is 2 grains. The third one is 6 grains. Okay? The fourth one is 24 grains. And the fifth one is 96 grains. And it says, and like this you go throughout the board. And I said, what's the big deal? It's not, it's just a, he said, anyway, the Chayim says it will take over 100 years to grow enough grain to give enough to fill out how much it actually comes out. By the time you multiply 64, it's the power 64. You know, it's like huge number. He says, when Yidden come together, they add to the tefillahs of the Yidden that were already there, they multiply it by the entire number itself. Whatever the combination was before, each one is called tzirufim, is a combination. And the more every Yid, multiplies by the total number, whatever the result was before. So you're talking about in Uman, Rosh Hashanah, 40,000 people.
Billions.
Much more than billions. You're talking much more than billions. There's shochen that another neighbor that comes to the kibbutz, when there's a kibbutz, I'm sure the Oisik B'Tfilah, another one single person that comes more, he says changes, that's why he says, okay, so now the Yid will come to Uman, one less, one more. What are you talking about? One more, it's a different Metzias B'chlal than one less. Totally different. You take a Yid, Unterwelnik, the underworld, from Netanya, whatever it is, Netanya is the Shatevas, Neshamat Azmina Yeled Isharugim. It's you bring another one, multiplies the whole thing. It's not the same thing. Talk about a different universe, B'chlal. To the point that the mouse you can't even call the number by name. It's so many combinations. And this makes an unbelievable joy and rejoicing in Shammai. And that's the thing that brings about the atonement and the slicha and the forgiveness of all the averes of Am Yisrael. And not only this, but it prevents illness. Takes away illness. Now, every true manik, this we'll stop it by here. Mitzvah Hashem will continue the next time. You probably didn't daven, right?
No.
Okay, so we said that. So every true manik of a generation has a ruach nevuah. As epis a ruach nevuah, even though mamash ruach nevuah he doesn't have, because we don't have prophecy anymore. But he has a different kind of ruach dekdusha that other people don't have. Anybody who's a true manik, not somebody that people just put him there. That's a little doll. It'll be at the end. First time you go and you give him a pupiaster and they tell him whatever. We're not talking about that. Everybody is a true manik. He really leads the people. He has a different ruach. To lead the people. And it is through this ruach a nevuah of this manik that he cleanses the koyach hamadama, the fantasy world that the people live in. The koyach hamadama is the only way you can connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because you can't understand it. You can believe in it. The Zohar says, "Kol chad lefum demishar belibe." Everybody grasps HaKadosh Baruch Hu according to what his heart imagines. That's all you can get. That's it. You cannot. So this ability to imagine, she's coming, she's going out.
coming out. She doesn't go out. She just sits in the office.
Okay. Okay. It is the koyach hamadama. That's this ruach shtus that enables us to do averis. That's the koyach hamadama. Let's say that it's possible a person should fly in the air. This koyach hamadama, but it's so insidious. It is so mixed in with the seichel that it totally influences the seichel. What happens is when a person follows the medama, the seichel, instead of directing the heart, becomes the lawyer and says why what the heart wants is good. Mm-hmm. If the seichel is the leader, the heart follows the seichel, kicking and screaming, but nevertheless he has no choice because the moach lays down the rule. What happens is that after a certain amount of time, the heart becomes clean. The heart is the medama. It becomes clean, and the heart is capable of grasping things that is beyond the moach. The moach is a cold instrument. Either you're smart or you're stupid. And how smart are you? How stupid are you? That's it. It's cut and dry. You can't put the 10 pounds into a 5 pound bag. You can't do that. The heart can you can believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The heart can. So when the mind is the boss, which means you don't follow your heart, you follow your mind. The heart becomes an instrument for Chokhmah, which is way beyond the mind, way beyond the brain. This is called Ruach HaKodesh. That's called Ruach Nevuah. People think Nevi'im are people are, like freaks, like, they're troopers, like, no. The Nevi'im were so super realistic, super dry. Every Navi had a base in. Every Navi, you'll see it in Shemus HaTzadikim. You say every Navi, every major Navi, who were his Beis Din. Yirmiyahu, who was his Beis, he was Av Beis Din, he was Rosh Beis Din, and he had the Beis Din, this one had, this, every prophet had his own Beis Din. And sometimes he had other Nevi'im in his Beis Din. The people sitting in Beis Din are the more realistic, and the opposite of fantasy you can possibly find. Totally straight, unken chochmas, without any dimyonis, without any imagination, straight. What is right, what is wrong. When a person is that straight, what his heart imagines is already the emes, which is beyond the seichel. That's why he says, Biyad Nevi'im Adama. Now the Kodesh Baruch Hu says, I gave my nevuah using the koyach hadimion, the power of the imagination of the Nevi'im. But if the Nevi'im were stoners, were taking trips, LSD, the nevuah would be like that. But being that they're so straight, and the moach is the one that calls the shots, the Av Beis Din, they were based in. This follow the moach, what their heart tells them is Nevuas Hashem. So every tzaddik, every true manik, he has a ruach, which is Pinas Ruach Nevuah, and that Ruach Nevuah cleanses the medam of all the people who are getting close to him. Because it takes a Ruach Nevuah to cleanse the medama of all the people. This is the main shlemus ha'emunah. The perfection of the emunah is that the medama is clean. You know what to believe in and what not to believe in, and don't get yourself into shtuyot, into superstitions and all kinds of shtuyot. This is done through the manik. Amiti B'ezrat Hashem will continue more about this the next time. Where's the okay.